Pitchers, welcome pitching coaches. Don't mind the baseball bat. I just thought it would be a cool prop for this video. This video is about pitching. In this video tutorial, I'm going to share with you why pitchers that want to be elite should not use strike percentage as an assessment metric. And I'll discuss what is a much better method to assess a pitcher's command, control, accuracy. First off, I hear many major league pitchers and elite level coaches sharing a lot of great wisdom. I hear them discussing a pitcher's command, control, i.e. accuracy, and how vital it is to be successful at elite levels, or any level. But one thing the baseball community by and large has not broadly discussed and developed, on the public format at least, is an assessment method and metric that accurately measures a pitcher's command and control. Now, to avoid any confusion with personalized definitions, command, control, what I'm talking about here is accuracy. Now, as we move forward, we all have to agree on one thing. A pitcher's one and only underlying job is to prevent and limit the opponent from scoring runs. It's not to throw a certain ratio of pitches. It's not to get a certain amount of ground balls, nor is it to throw X amount of strikes. The pitcher and the defense are in the run prevention industry, and any substat that we use must have a direct causal effect on the amount of runs scored or given up. And the closeness of that relationship is extremely important for us to understand if we want to place an accurate value on a particular stat. In this particular case, strike percentage, or as we'll get to, target percentage. Now, let's get into the huge flaw of strike percentage, a stat that's been around and talked about for a long time. What percentage of strikes do pitchers throw out of the total amount of pitches? Or you even hear like first strike percentage and things like that. Aim big, miss big, aim small, miss small. All right, keep that in mind as we move forward here. So the Major League Strike Zone, the Major League Strike Zone is a little smaller on width than youth level, but a player's a little taller. So it kind of evens out. It might be a little bigger in general. It's, just so you know, it's 475 square inches, the Major League Strike Zone. It's 475 inches. So how can all strikes be considered equal? Well, that's exactly what the strike percentage stat does. It values all strikes the same. Those strikes can be 20 inches apart from each other. One strike can be in an area of the strike zone that the hitter struggles to hit. The other one, also a strike, is in an area that the hitter regularly pummels into the gaps. Two pitches, both called strikes, and they typically will lead to vastly different outcomes. And now, how we know this to hold true is that it holds true over large sample sizes as well. I like non-sports examples, so let me give you a geographical analogy of this flaw. SoCal and NoCal are within the same state. They're both Cali. And people in SoCal scroll down, click CA on their online shipping address when they're buying stuff on Amazon or whatnot, just the same way my NoCal peeps do. But as most people know, that while these two regions are both within the California's borders, they have very different vibes, different ecosystems, and different words, which some of you may find hella interesting. Similarly, within the 400 plus square inches of the strike zone, there are multiple subzones that will inevitably, over time, lead to vastly different results. Living in some areas of the strike zone can lead to a Cy Young Award, while living in other areas of the strike zone can lead to a 5+ ERA. Two different pitches can both be called strikes, but their locations within the strike zone can be vastly different, leading to vastly different results over time. And like we said, large sample size it holds true through large sample sizes. Not all strikes are good pitches. Not all pitches out of the strike zone are bad pitches. In fact, many strikes are mistakes. In other words, they are pitches that miss their target, the catcher's glove, like a thigh-high changeup, which is a strike, but can easily be turned into a hit that gets driven for multiple bases and RBIs. But a changeup, shin high, just off the corner, well, it's considered a ball. But remember, that's not a bad pitch. It takes 16 balls like that to produce one run for the offense. And if you get lucky, the hitter chases it, likely turn into an easy out, right? So surely we don't want to go up there and walk hitters, and we don't want to nibble more than what's effective. But we also don't want to be rewarded on the stat sheet for missing our target, missing the glove, and throwing pitches that are like thigh-high cookies that get pummeled. The game is about outs versus runs, not necessarily strikes versus balls. Lastly, before I go into how I recommend a pitcher's command, control, accuracy be measured instead of strike percentage, I like to hit quickly on a topic that is known as hitters' hot zones, their heat maps, and how there is great variability of hitter success within the strike zone. So take future Hall of Famer Mike Trout's slugging percentage. It's more than double on strikes down the middle of the plate versus strikes on the outer third. Both pitches are in the strike zone, but his slugging percentage, the damage he does on it, doubles. And this holds true across the board for almost all hitters. Most of them cover certain parts of the strike zone really well, and some of them don't do. They're weak in other areas of the strike zone. So they drive pitches in some areas and they're weak on others. Now, for my recommendation, I recommend pitchers and pitching coaches use target percentage, or whatever you'd like to call it. I call it target percentage to more accurately assess the command of a pitcher, their control, their accuracy. Did the pitch hit the glove without the glove moving more than a few inches? Yes, that criterion is going to be a little more lenient for youth pitchers, and it's going to be more strict for college pitchers. So youth pitchers, maybe it's 4, 5, 6 inches the glove moves. Pro pitchers, maybe just a few inches. So that target percentage is going to be lower than the strike percentage, right? But that's okay. What matters is getting outs and limiting runs. And using target percentage rather than strike ball percentage will give better, more accurate feedback in regards to the pitcher's command and control. And that's what we want, more accurate feedback. The target percentage could be taken a step further also by using a sliding scale of sorts to more accurately assess misses, because not all misses are the same. Some will definitely cost more runs than others, and this can all be quantified. In fact, 15 years ago, I created a scoring system that scored accuracy of every pitch in every location, factoring in the count and the initial target given up by the catcher. And we can go over that in another video, or I will go over that in another video. You can email me, coachbo@8020baseball.com, and I'll go into it with you. You can hit me up on Twitter, 8020_baseball. To sum it up, let's eliminate the strike percentage stat as an assessment metric, and let's start using target percentage, or whatever you want to call it. Did the pitch at the pre-pitch glove target? Did the pitch, plus or minus a few inches, depending on the level, hit the glove? Or did the glove have to move a lot? Now, for youth coaches and high school coaches, you could simply have two columns, like when you chart this, a target column and a miss column. Then add it up and divide, and there you go. For advanced pitchers at the high school level and college level and pro level, you can come up with a sliding scale. And in that case, like a target would be a 0, and depending on the severity of the miss, it would be scored like a 1, 2, 3, etc., with the objective being to get the lowest score possible. At the end of the game, at the end of the outing, at the end of the bullpen, take the total points and divide by the total number of pitches, and that's the score. The lower the better. You could turn it into a competition with the pitching staff, with a strong caveat being that the pitchers are not to go out there and start aiming their pitches like darts. They're not, they're to go out there and maintain their stuff, the quality of their pitches, their spin rates, the depth on their breaking ball, their velocity, etc. They don't want to sacrifice any stuff to make it, overly sacrifice stuff to get more accurate. Now, to finish up, that I think that we should have higher expectations of our pitchers than just to hit a 450 cubic inches of target. All right, I think that we should definitely get them to have higher expectations, and I think you'd all agree after listening to this, let's get rid of the strike percentage. How many strikes there are? There's 62% strikes or 70% strikes. And let's use target percentage. All right. How many times did they hit the glove, or were they near the glove? Or if they missed, for you elite pitchers, did they miss in a quality area, like an 0-2 slider down? Did it miss down, or did it hang middle? If it missed down, maybe the glove had to dart down a little to catch it. Maybe that's not a 0, but maybe that's a 1 on your sliding scale. For you youth coaches and high school coaches that just don't have maybe the eyeballs to do this or maybe quite the experience, or don't want to do it, you can just have two columns, a target column and a miss column. Did the glove miss, did the ball miss the glove, right, by more than a few inches? I would give them a few inches, because it's really asking a lot for that glove just to stick there and get hit, right? I mean, that's asking a lot from the pitchers. But for pro guys, college guys, you want to be elite. I wouldn't give them much. If that glove moves a little bit, all right. Okay, so set some parameters, and you can get good at this over time. And with technology, this can be done over time. I would be surprised if in the near future that sensors aren't put in catchers' gloves and then they get an initial lock on, and that where they, where they're set up pre-pitch is where the target is, and it registers with the computer, the technology, and then it senses how far it had to move to catch the ball, and then it quantifies it down to a millimeter, and then spits out some, thousandth of a decimal type of number. But that's neither here nor there for most coaches. You can do this with just a simple 2-column sheet, or you can do it with a sliding scale, and I'll get into that down the road. All right, so let's get rid of the strike percentage. Let's use target percentage. Thank you for watching this. This has been Coach Bo. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Bye for now.